2 Kings chapter 12 and 20. The rest of the acts of Joash with all that he did are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. Certain of his officials entered into a conspiracy and struck Joash down at Beth Millo. Josachar, son of Shimeath, and Jehozabad, the son of Shumar, were the officials who struck and killed him. He was buried with his ancestors in the city of David, and his son Amaziah succeeded him as king. Chapter 13. Reign of Jehoahaz of Israel. In the 23rd year of Joash, son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, became king over Israel and Samaria for 17 years. He did what was evil in the father's sight. He did not depart from following the sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. The father was angry with Israel, and for a long time gave them into the power of Hazael, king of Aram, and of Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael. Then Jehoahaz entreated the father, who heard him, since he saw the oppression to which the king of Aram had subjected Israel. So the father gave Israel a savior, and the Israelites, freed from the power of Aram, dwelt in their own tents as formerly. Nevertheless, they did not desist from the sins of the house of Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit, but persisted in them. The Asherah remained even in Samaria. No army was left in Jehoahaz except 50 horses with 10 chariots and 10,000 foot soldiers, since the king of Aram had destroyed them and trampled them like dust. The rest of the acts of Jehoahaz with all that he did and his valor are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Jehoahaz rested with his ancestors. He was buried in Samaria, and his son Joash succeeded him as king. Reign of Joash of Israel. In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah, Joash, son of Jehoahaz, became king over Israel and Samaria 16 years. He did what was evil in the father's sight. He did not desist from any of the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit, for persisted in them. The rest of the acts of Joash, with all that he did, and his valor, and how he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Joash rested with his ancestors. Then Jeroboam sat on his throne. Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Elisha's deathbed prophecy. When Elisha was suffering from the sickness of which he was to die, Joash, king of Israel, went down to weep over him. My father, he exclaimed, Israel's chariot and steeds. Elisha said to him, Take bow and arrows. And he took bow and arrows. Elisha said to the king of Israel, Rest your hand on the bow. And he rested his hand on it. Elisha placed his hand over the king's hands, and said, Open the window toward the east. He opened it. Elisha said, Shoot. And he shot. He said, An arrow of victory for the Father, Most High I am, Yahuwah. An arrow of victory over Aram. You'll beat Aram at Aphek and finish him. Then he said to the king of Israel, Take the arrows, which he did. Elisha said to the king of Israel, Beat the ground. He beat the ground 3 times and stopped. The man of the father became angry with him and said, You should have beat 5 or 6 times. You would have beaten Aram and finished him. Now you will beat Aram only 3 times. And so Elisha died and was buried. And at that time of year, bands of Moabites used to raid that land. Once some people were burying a man, when suddenly they saw such a raiding band. So they cast the man into the grave of Elisha, and everyone went off. But when the man came in contact with the bones of Elisha, he came back to life and got to his feet. King Hazael of Aram oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. But the father was gracious with Israel and looked on them with compassion because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. He was unwilling to destroy them or to cast them out from his presence even up to now. So when King Hazael of Aram died and his son Ben-Hadad succeeded him as king, Joash, son of Jehoahaz, took back from Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, the cities Hazael had taken in battle from Jehoahaz his father. 3 times Joash beat him, and thus recovered the cities of Israel. 14. Reign of Amaziah, king of Judah. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoiadan from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the father's eyes, though not like David his father. He did just as his father Joash had done, though the high places did not disappear and the people continued to sacrifice and to burn incense on the high places. When Amaziah had the kingdom firmly in hand, he struck down the officials who had struck down the king his father. But their children he did not put to death, according to what is written in the book of the law of Musa, which the father commanded. Parents shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall children be put to death for their parents. Only for one's own crimes shall a person be put to death. Amaziah struck down 10,000 Edomites in the Salt Valley. He took Selah in battle and renamed it Joktheel, the name it has to this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, with this message: "Come, let us meet face to face." Joash, king of Israel, sent this reply to Amaziah, king of Judah: "A thistle of Lebanon sent word to a cedar of Lebanon, Give your daughter to my son in marriage. But an animal of Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle underfoot. You have indeed struck down Edom, and your heart is lifted up. Enjoy your glory, but stay home. Why bring misfortune and failure on yourself and on Judah with you?" But Amaziah did not listen. So Joash, king of Israel, advanced, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, met face to face at Bethshemesh of Judah. And Judah was defeated by Israel, and all fled to their tents. But Amaziah, king of Judah, son of Joash, son of Ahaziah, was captured by Joash, king of Israel, at Bethshemesh. When they came to Jerusalem, Joash tore down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. He took all the gold and silver and all the vessels found in the house of the father and in the treasuries of the king's house, and hostages as well. Then he returned to Samaria. The rest of the acts of Joash and what he did in his valor and how he made war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Joash rested with his ancestors. He was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and his son Jeroboam succeeded him as king. Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, survived Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, by 15 years. The rest of the acts of Amaziah are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah. When a conspiracy was formed against him in Jerusalem, he fled to Lachish, but he was pursued to Lachish and killed there. He was brought back on horses and was buried in Jerusalem with his ancestors in the city of David. Thereupon all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was only 16 years old, and made him king to succeed Amaziah his father. It was he who rebuilt Elath and restored it to Judah, after the king rested with his ancestors. Reign of Jeroboam the second of Israel. In the 15th year of Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, son of Joash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria for 41 years. He did evil in the father's sight. He did not desist from any of the sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. He restored the boundaries of Israel from Lebo Hamath to the sea of the Arabah, as the Father, Most High I Am, the God of Israel, had foretold through his servant, the prophet Jonah, son of Amittai, from Gath-Hepher. For the father saw the very bitter affliction of Israel, where there was neither bond nor free, no, not one at all to help Israel. Since the father had not resolved to wipe out the name of Israel from under the heavens, he saved him through Jeroboam, son of Joash. The rest of the acts of Jeroboam, with all the acts he did of valor, and how he fought, and how he reigned in Damascus and Hamath for Israel, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam rested with his ancestors, the kings of Israel, and his son Zechariah succeeded him as king. Chapter 15. Reign of Azariah of Judah. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, became king. He was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jecholiah from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the father's sight, just as his father Amaziah had done, though the high places did not disappear, and the people continued to sacrifice and to burn incense on the high places. The father afflicted the king, and he was a leper until the day he died. He lived in a house apart from Jotham, the king's son, was master of the palace, and ruled the people of the land. The rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah. Azariah rested with his ancestors and was buried with them in the city of David, and his son Jotham succeeded him as king.